Hello, everyone. Good morning and good evening, everyone. So, first of all, I would like to thank each and everyone for joining this DevOps with AWS training. Demo session. I really appreciate each and everyone for taking your time out over your weekend to learn something really new. I assure that this session is going to be as interesting, and I'll try to keep it as productive as possible. So, I'll try to keep the session as short as possible. Okay, so I'll try to stick to the current agenda. And at the same time, I also want to ensure that this session is not just I'll speak, you listen. I'll try to go in an interactive format. Having said that, whenever you want to speak, you have a hand raise option. You can click that and you can talk. Okay, so the moment you click that, I can unmute you and you can talk whenever you want. Okay, so without keeping anything delay further, so I would like to start the session. So my name is Manoj Verma. So I'm a working professional with 11 years of experience, majorly working on cloud and DevOps technologies. I'm into training as a part-time, and so far I have trained almost 1,080 students, and this is my 54th batch. So successfully, we have completed 53 batches completely on DevOps with AWS. That's a quick introduction about myself. And the current batch, which is nothing but the 54th batch, that session timings are going to be Monday to Saturday, morning 6 to 7:30 India time. If you're joining from India, the session timings are Monday to Saturday, morning 6 to 7:30 a.m. India time. And for example, if you are from states, the session timings are going to be Sunday to Friday, evening 8:30 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. I repeat again, Monday to Saturday, morning 6 to 7:30 if you're joining from India. And if you're joining from states, Sunday to Friday, 8:30 to 10 p.m. evenings are the session timings, and both the ways the timings are completely out of office hours. So that's about the batch timings, and it's a quick introduction about my trainer profile. As I already mentioned, I'm a working professional. I'm training is just my part time. From 11 years, I think 2012 I have started my IT career. This is my 11th year, and I total have 9 years as a part-time training experience. So I'm into training from last 9 years as well as a part-time trainer. And as I mentioned, I have successfully delivered 53 batches, and this is my 54th batch. Coming to my profession, I'm working as a lead DevOps engineer in one of the enterprise grade organization, and most of my experience is around enterprise and enterprise plus grade companies. So I assure that my experience around enterprise grade organization is highly inculcated into the training so that you can gain great insights out of this training. All right, that's a quick introduction about me and my profile. And coming to the agenda, guys, this training is about a DevOps with AWS. So I'll try to stick to this agenda just to keep the thing short. So why DevOps? How things are going to work before DevOps? What is this DevOps evolution? And what are all the tools that we are going to learn as a part of this training? And what is cloud and how business was happening before cloud, and how with cloud business has transformed, and what are the various business models that are associated with cloud, and what is our approach. Okay, there are a lot of models, there are a lot of strategies. Among all, what is the strategy that we are going to take, and which strategy that we are going to take as a part of the training. I would like to stick to this part, okay, so that just to avoid confusion. So this is the agenda that I would like to talk more about. Okay, so coming back to the agenda. So for example, the applications that we are going to talk, okay, for example, there are, before talking about the training and all, we would like to talk about applications first. Okay, so for example, earlier if you want to buy an iPhone, you have to go to a Apple showroom and you need to search the product iPhone 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which version you want to buy, and you'll go to the showroom and you'll buy the product, right? That is offline model. Right now the business is completely going through internet. Okay, so and in that internet space, applications, for example, if I want to order the same iPhone now, I'll go to flipkart.com. Sorry. For example, right now, if I want to buy an iPhone or any object of my choice, for example, I'll come here and I'll say I want to buy iPhone and 14 is my choice. I'll just search here. And for example, I'm interested in about white color of 256 GB variant. So the moment I click that, it shows you what all variants that are available, and it's going to display all of these things. And at the same time, hey, 81,999 is the amount. And if you go with Flipkart Access Card, you get 5% discount. And if you go with these, there are a lot of discounts that are available. And at the same time, it is also telling you the moment you enter your PIN code, it's going to tell you whether the product is shippable or not. And at the same time, it also tells you whether the product that is being shown is varying or not. So, and at the same time, it also gives you the specifications. There are certain variants which cannot be shipped to some XYZ location, and there are certain models where they cannot ship it to certain locations based on their color variants. That means a lot of things are happening, right? So in order to do this, okay, so what needs to happen in the background? Okay, that's the core that I would like to talk. Now I want to buy this product. I'll just click add, and then I'll go to the cart, and then I'll just simply place the order. Then it will ask you to how you would like to do the payment and enter your credit or debit cards. Or if you are in India, you can also buy the same phone with the cash on delivery, where you can pay the cash at the doorstep. In order to happen all of these things, you need to have some applications running on somewhere. Okay, accessing these kind of applications over internet is called web application. These kind of applications are called as web applications, and this is the business, and this is the topic we are going to stress more about. Okay, so we are going to implement DevOps, AWS, all these things, keeping the real-time business in mind. Okay, we don't just learn the technology and understand this, that, and all. First, we'll understand what business is, and based on that, we are going to apply technology on the top of it. So first, we'll try to understand the use cases, and then based on that, we'll try to apply the technology. Okay, there are two types of applications: client-based application and web-based application. So we are least bothered about the client-based application. A client-based application is nothing but an application which is installed or which you are going to install on your computer. I don't want that. Okay, now I'm very focused about implementing something that's related to web application. In order to use your web application, you should have some sort of some hardware like your computer. So on the top of your computer is something which is designed just for your own purpose. A person, it's a single user purpose. But when you're talking about server, a server is nothing but a big hardware, big computer with higher processing power, which is designed to be accessed by a number of people, a number of people. So on the top of this server, we are going to install some sort of hardware, some sort of operating system. What operating system and all, again, we'll talk about that later. And on the top of that, we are going to install that web application. Okay, which technology we use to develop, all these things we'll discuss later, but this is the business. Okay, so we are going to install. Okay, going forward, I'm going to start using the word called as deploy. Okay, so deploy or install, most of them are the same. Okay, so I'm going to deploy application on the top of the server. And you take a company like Google, Flipkart, Amazon, they have thousands of applications which needs to be run and hundreds and thousands of servers. So technically keeping the servers in your home is not a right idea. So you need to host them on the top of some private place, and the private place is called as a data center. Okay, so all of them are directly related to data center. What we are talking, all these things directly or indirectly, they are related to the data center. Okay, so let me minimize it. Okay, so all of them are going to be installed on the top of a server, but at the same time, we cannot install or we cannot keep servers on one particular server. So you need a number of servers. So you need a number of servers. So what you do, you end up buying a lot of servers. You end up buying lot of servers. Okay, and this hardware, these servers are being supplied by a lot of vendors like your Cisco, HP, a lot of vendors are there. And since these applications are very critical, okay, you are going to host them on some private place, and the private place is restricted only to the people who are supposed to have access. And such kind of places are called as a data center. A data center is a place where we are going to host our infrastructure. Okay, so servers, switches, networking components, all of these things are referred as infrastructure. Typically, each and every company, whether it is a cloud consumer company or it's a non-cloud consumer company, each and every company have their own data center. Okay, if a company is established, you can clearly say that they will have something called as data center. Data center is nothing but a place where we are going to host all these items. Okay, your servers, all of these things. For example, how a data center looks like. This is how a data center looks like. So come here. This is how a data center looks like. It's a very well organized place, okay, where you are going to have hundreds and thousands of servers, and it's a very sophisticated and highly integrated infrastructure where all of your applications are going to run on the top of it. Okay, in order to maintain this, it's not an easy job, by the way. Okay, because since it is a computing device, it's going to emit a lot of lot of heat. So first thing, in order to maintain a data center, which I'm telling from the beginning, which is a big deal, you need to ensure the data center is secure, private and secure. When I say private, no one should have access, and it should be having 24/7 security. It's not like some random person enter and try to do whatever they want. Okay. And at the same time, I need to ensure 24/7. Okay. Since these servers will emit a lot of heat. Okay. So the wear and tear of these components or the hardware will be extended to a very greater extent. In order to reduce that, we need to cool down the temperature, or in order to ensure to bring the cool down, or in order to reduce the temperature in the data center, we are going to host some coolants or some air conditioning machines that ensures the temperature will be anytime between 16 degrees. Okay, so as per the data center standards, this is 24/7. You need to maintain 16 to 19 degrees temperature. This is one must and basic thing that we need to do. Okay, so which also means it involves a lot of electricity consumption, and at the same time, that's directly related to billing. Okay, now when you are running or when you're telling something is very much critical, you also need to ensure the electricity supply, the power consumption or the power supply should also be redundant. So dual power supply. So I'm from last 8 years, I'm into teaching. So teaching, so in order to teach, you also need to have some basic infrastructure, like you need to have dual network. For example, if one of the network that I'm using right now, I'm using Geo. If Geo is not working, I should have an alternative plan called as Airtel. Similarly for power supply also, for example, there are two providers. One is the government supplied and another is a private supplier. You need to ensure that both the supplies are in place. In case if the private vendor fails to supply you the power, immediately it should take over from the government supplied. So which also means you need to have dual power supply. And at the same time, 24/7, I also need to have the similar network, dual network. You cannot rely on one network provider. So I want to have dual network, in which case at any point of time, I want to ensure my application is available to my customers. Okay, so to keep this context in mind, we need to also have dual network from different internet service providers. They can be anything. Okay, and hardware refresh, it's one of the capital intensive thing, hardware refresh. Okay, hardware refresh is a very famous term in IT. Okay, so for example, I would like to give a small example about hardware refresh. For example, if you bought an iPhone, for example, Apple has launched an iPhone 14. Immediately whenever they are launching iPhone 14 or the latest models, what they say, they'll say we are going to discontinue. Okay, or they are going to stop supporting iPhone 7 or iPhone 8. What exactly it meant when someone says they are stop supporting the product iPhone 7 or iPhone 8? What exactly it meant? Anyone can answer that? Anyone is interested to answer? Anyone? I could see 3 people raising their hands. Yes, go ahead, Praveen. Anyone?
Yeah, so software updates, they will stop all the updates for the software related things.
Okay.
The one
I
reason
mean,
could be
any patches, like any related patch work, then they will stop all those updates.
Okay, software updates. They'll stop publishing you the software updates. Okay. Anything
Yeah.
else? But I mentioned it as a hardware. But yeah, you're somewhere close to whatever I meant. So anything else?
Hardware means like if we lost anything like audio related issues, audio related chips, if we miss anything, then we cannot get it outside
Okay.
for
So
all
what you
those.
meant is once a company, the provider mentions that we are going to discontinue or we are going to stop supporting this product, that means the components, the hardware is not going to be available. For example,
Yeah.
you are using iPhone 7 or iPhone 8. If your touch goes for a toss, or for example, if your touch button was broken and if you go to an iPhone store and says that, hey, my touch button was not working or my lock button was not working, can you please replace that? They say, sorry sir, we have stopped supporting iPhone 7 or 8, which also means we are no longer going to give you the hardware. In that case, what you'll do, guys? What you will do? You don't have any option. All you need to do is you just need to go and say that, hey, I need to buy a hardware, new machine. Okay. You just need to go and buy a new hardware. Since you are just one person who is just a mobile user, it might or might not be having great impact on you. But consider a big data center which is having 1,000 servers. Okay, out of which, okay, one of the variant IBM, some server model X has announced that they are going to discontinue that version in 2023. Now, what this company has to do? What this company has to do, guys? There are 300 IBM servers with model X, which are going to be discontinued in model 2023. Now, what this company has to do? So what this company has to do is, for example, they need to replace all the 300 servers with an alternative version. For example, if someone says that I'm discontinuing Model X, so they are going to start something else called as Model Y. So you need to buy the Model Y hardware and you need to migrate all your applications. That means you need to buy the hardware, you need to revamp. That means you need to remove the existing hardware and you need to migrate the existing applications that are present on the old servers to the new servers, and again you need to do a lot of testing, and it's a big mess. And at the same time, hardware refresh is a potentially a capital intensive thing. Not all companies can afford. Okay, so hardware refresh is a very potential capital intensive thing which companies think 10 times before proceeding further. This is one of the area which has this is one of the major pain points in maintaining data centers or maintaining your own hardware. If it's just your phone, that's fine. You just get it in AMI and you'll buy it. What if a company which is having 1000 servers in their data center, and if they want to replace 300 servers, if the company is having money, they can. If the company is not having money, then they just need to rely on the fate of luck, right? So in order to avoid that, okay, so a group of engineers came up with a concept, okay, that is one of the major pain point of maintaining your own data center and maintaining your own servers. So what if I say, guys, I'll give you one more example, okay, just to draw what is cloud. So you're a working professional. This is a very common example I use. So you're a working professional. You're a college graduate who got an opportunity in Bangalore as a software developer with one of the big consulting firm, and you're drawing 30,000 per month, and you want to move from Hyderabad to Bangalore. So the very first thing what you do, guys, either if you're a rich guy, you'll tell your father, hey dad, I'm going to Bangalore, I want to stay in an independent flat in an apartment, I want it. So your father inquired and he got to know that it is an 80 lakhs, and since you're the only kid, he'll buy by paying 80 lakhs. But what if a person doesn't have, or what if you want to give some optimized solution? What if I say, I want to stay in Bangalore, so I'll just search in the internet like nobroker.com or Magic Huts or whatever it may be. I look for an appropriate flat which is close to my home, right? Which is close to my home, which is close to my office, and I'll go to that guy and say that, hey, I'm planning to stay here for 6 to 8 months or 6 months to 1 year, and I would like to stay here for this much amount of time. What is the rent that you'll offer? He says that, okay, I think since you're a bachelor guy, it's a 1 BHK flat. I'm going to give you 10,000 rupees. Which one is the best and capital insensitive approach? Which one is the best option? Which one costs you less? Obviously, the taking the home for rent, right? So that's the exact concept which has triggered Amazon to start this business called as cloud. So back in 2003-4, when after the dot-com bubble crash, okay, Amazon is in the process of expanding their books business and their e-commerce business. Keeping their future forecasting mind, they bought thousands of servers and they have hosted it on the top of their data centers across United States. Okay, so they did this. Let me copy it. Okay, they bought huge amount of servers and keeping the future demands in mind. And if you buy some sort of things more, okay, if you are buying one iPhone and if you are buying 100 iPhones or 200 iPhones, the level of discount that you get is different. Okay, so keeping the future demands in mind, Amazon has invested a lot of amount in their hardware, thinking that at Amazon that their business is going to grow exponentially, and they haven't even reached 20-30% of their business analysis, and most of the hardware that they bought was left idle. And if you invested something somewhere, you expect returns, right? So when you are investing somewhere, what you expect is return of investment. What is the return that you are expecting from the investment that you made? So keeping that in mind, a group of young engineers thought that why can't we go with something called as pay as you go model? There are a lot of companies, which can't afford hardware. Why can't we offer hardware as a service? So for example, me, I want to start a company. Me and Mahinder and a couple of my college friends want to start a company, And we decided to start writing the applications. And to run these applications, I would need some hardware like your Linux machine, like your servers. I don't have. Who believes a college guy and gives you $1 million to invest in hardware? No one gives. So so keeping these contexts, keeping these use cases in mind, Amazon came up with a concept called as cloud approach. So in cloud, what you can tell is, okay, you can go to the provider. So in that cloud space, Amazon is a leader. You can tell that, hey, Amazon, I want 3 servers, one server with 100 CPU and another server 300 CPU and another server is 500 CPU. So they said, okay, yeah, go ahead and take it and consume it. Now I would need 100 servers for 1 week, and rest of the 1 week, I just need 2 servers. In this case, either you have to buy the hardware or you can go with the cloud telling pay as you go model. Here, you'll be billed based on the number of seconds that you have consuming your server. Today, as a part of the Black Friday sale, you would need 300 servers. After the Black Friday sale, which is nothing but 2 weeks later, you would just run 20 servers to run your business. Just to handle your Black Friday sale, does it make sense to buy 300 servers? No, none of the companies are doing that. Rather than investing their time, energy in refreshing, buying hardware and maintaining, blah, 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 what they're doing is they are going with cloud. Okay, cloud. In this cloud, they are going to offer hardware as a service where you get most of the things, keeping the infrastructure demands in mind. You can register with them and you can say that I want this. Okay, so Amazon is operating in more than 20 plus regions now. Even in India, we have 2 regions, I think from last year, August or November. So even in Amazon, there are two regions. In 2 places, Amazon has started its cloud business. One is in Hyderabad and another is in Mumbai. That's the power of Amazon now. And Amazon is monopoly. Okay, if you ask me what is the percentage of cloud occupancy or customer base for Amazon, I would say 75 to 80%. Okay, it has 75% to 80% of the customer base right now for Amazon. That means if you take 100 jobs, 75 to 80% of the jobs are on the top of AWS. Why? Because they have the first customer advantage, which means they have started their business in 2007, 2005 or 6. So till 2014-15, they have no competitors in the space of cloud business. Till 2014-15, there is no competitor to Amazon. They are the only business who provides infrastructure as a service at the time. Okay, in 2014, Microsoft Azure, which is also a different cloud provider from Microsoft, so they started their business in 2014, and from 2017-18, Google Cloud came up into picture. And that's the reason in our training we are going to learn AWS as well extensively, and we are going to cover 15 to 20 services in Amazon. Okay, whatever the services and whatever the things that we are going to learn, most of them are open source, and 15 to 20 very important services that are important to your job aspects. Keeping that in mind, we are going to learn 15 to 20 services in Amazon. Again, when you're talking about a cloud or cloud business, when you join any calls or webinars or even an interview, they'll ask you what kind of business your company is doing, what kind of billing that your company is going through, what is infrastructure as a service, what kind of business models that your company is partnering with. So in order to understand, you need to know cloud business models. This is very important. What are we going to learn? This is another important point I would like to talk. So in this space, okay, so cloud is operated in 3 models. IaaS, which is nothing but infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as service, which means it's same like Bangalore, going to Bangalore and renting a flat, same example. So it's like infrastructure as a service. Whatever the hardware that you needed, that the cloud provider gives you, you just run your applications on the top of it, you have fun out of it, and you destroy it. And you'll be billed based on the number of minutes or number of seconds that you have consumed. And second thing, another important thing is platform as a service. It's also called as PaaS, platform as a service. Okay, this is also a type of service. In this case, okay, Amazon is not just going to provide you hardware, they are going to give you along with the application as well. For example, if your application needs an application server to run, you don't have to create a server and install your application server and then deploy application. You don't have to do that. All you need to do is, hey Amazon, I want Tomcat application server. Amazon is going to create you the server, and Amazon is going to deploy the application server. All you need to do is you just need to run your application. Okay, who takes care of the maintenance of the server, who takes care of the server availability, all these things you don't have to worry about it in this model, platform as a service. So Amazon is going to directly, or the cloud provider are going to directly provide you the platform. All you need to do is your development team just need to have your applications ready and running. So if you're having more infra team, okay, for example, if yours is a big company where you have a team to maintain your hardware and design your hardware, so they go with this. It is little inexpensive. And the platform, if your company is a development centric company where you don't have people who has good knowledge on infrastructure, or they can't maintain the infrastructure, they directly buy the platform, so where you're going to run the applications. And third example is SaaS model. This is very, very famous model. And if you ask me why software companies from 2017-18 are predominantly growing, SaaS. Every company is coming up with something called as software as a service model. Earlier, if you remember, till 2016-17, when you join any company, along with your computer or Windows operating system, they also used to install something called as MS Office, right? Now, do you think that they're installing MS Office on the top of your computer? No. They have a product called as Office 365 or Office 365. So it is an example of software as a service. So what Amazon is going to do is, Amazon is going to Microsoft Office 365. What these guys are going to do is they're going to create the servers, and on the top of the server, they're going to install Microsoft Office, and they're going to create an account for you, and they're just going to give you. All you do is you just sign in with your username and password. So it doesn't matter whether you're signing into your account or you're signing into, it doesn't matter whether you're using your computer or others' computer. For example, you have a presentation demonstrating your DevOps roadmap that you're having in your office. So you have designed everything on the top of your presentation. And next week, your lead is coming from onshore and you would like to present him, and you're coming in metro and you lost your office laptop. Now you lost all your work. If what if I say, if rather than using MS Office, if you use Office 365, which is a software as a service product from Microsoft, okay, where they're going to create account, where your applications, everything on their cloud provider, all you do is you just sign in with your username and password, you get the data back, which also means your data is saved and served on the top of cloud. These type of models are called as software as a service. And another example of it is, earlier, if you want to play games like Guardians of the Galaxy, or very big games, you used to buy PS3, PS4, PS5, PlayStations, right? And you buy the PlayStation, which is nothing but the hardware. And on the top, on the top of the hardware, if you want any game, you buy the license for the game and you'll pay it. And you will have your monitor, which is connected to your PlayStation, and with the console, you'll play, right? Okay. If your friend wants to join, they can connect to your computer and they can join. Now the whole thing, the whole game can be run on the top of a handheld mobile device. How it is possible? Do you think the games, PUBG, Guardians of the Galaxy, the games that you're running on your mobile, do you think the amount of CPU memory that is allocated on this device is possible to run this? Definitely no. So when the moment you open your PUBG or all these games, somewhere on the cloud, okay, the game is going to be provisioned, or you are going to connect to an application that is running somewhere. Okay, all these type of models are referred as software as a service models. Okay, so now coming back to the point, in training, what are all we are going to cover? So we are going to cover all three. So we are going to cover the services that are related to infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service in our training. All three we are going to cover. Okay, so I could see a couple of hands raised. Salman, you would like to talk? Could see your hand raised. I didn't see your question.
Yeah, Manoj. Like
Yeah,
I
please go
wanted,
ahead.
after using the service,
Mm-hmm,
you were talking about the destroy.
mm-hmm,
What do you mean by destroy? Like the destruction will be about the data or the hardware
mm-hmm.
side?
Okay, that's a good question. I would like to answer it in a high level. Okay, because keeping the interest of others in mind, I would like to answer it very short. When I say destroy, I don't need a server. I'm going to terminate it. I am deleting it, technically speaking. Okay, my some team wants to test something. They need a server. They created a server. The team tested it. I don't want a server anymore. So I don't want to run it, because the moment you run it more when you're not using, obviously it will build. You will get billing based on monthly. So I don't want to do that. So I would like to terminate it. That is called as a destroy or terminate the instance, which is nothing but a server. Okay. Now you can ask me, what about the data that is there? I don't care at this point of time. Okay. So there is a strategy that we follow in which places we'll keep the data that you're talking, in which places we can't. That is again a company strategy. We'll talk about it in the training. Okay. So we'll try to take all the production grade use cases in mind, and whatever you asked will also be covered by consuming something called as a platform as a service, which we are going to extensively use it. Okay. To answer your question, yes, it's us, the decision makers, who are going to decide how to organize the data along with your development team. Answers
Yeah,
your question?
thank you. Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah. Okay. So in our training, we are going to cover all three of these models. So yeah, that's it. So also this infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, all these things are shared responsibility models. So based on who takes more responsibility. So based on that, the model will be selected. In our training also, we'll see why we are selecting this PaaS, why you are selecting this infrastructure as a service. Everything we are try to give a specific reason, and then we are going to talk about that. Okay. So this is the business model, and this is why a lot of companies are migrating to cloud, and this is the reason why maintaining a data center is a capital intensive thing. And these are the cloud business models, how you will be built based on the type of service that you consume. Okay, that's it. I don't want to talk more about it. And that's how the cloud business model is operating. Now you can ask me, I could see a lot of questions asking why from last 3 to 4 years, huge number of DevOps and cloud jobs are in the market, how cloud and DevOps are related to each other, why in the space of cloud there are huge amount of jobs. So I would like to take 2 to 3 more minutes to explain, because if you want to know, if you want to learn something, or if you want to invest something, I strongly believe you should have a reason to do that. Okay, simply learning just for the hype doesn't make sense as per me. So I'll try to give you a logical reason why the business of cloud is really huge in the market. So let me try to explain. Okay, again, the same data center model. Typically in any of the, for example, this is the data center. Data center again is a place where you are going to host all your infrastructure. Each and every company will have 2 or 3 data centers based on how they organize. So keeping that in mind, for example, this is your data center. Okay, so just now we held our data center is a place where we are going to host all our infrastructure. So in this data center, we are going to host a lot of servers. Okay, a lot of servers. Okay, for example, we have different types of servers: Windows servers, Linux servers. Okay, different teams host different things. So keeping the high level context in mind, so we have, let's try to, right, all I would like to show is different teams. That's it. Okay, so for example, here you have these servers. Okay, I'm talking about on-prem. Okay, which is nothing but your data center. Inside the data center, you'll have servers like your Linux servers, Windows servers, Mac machines. And each and every server also will have some storage associated. So definitely you also need to have a team called a storage team, which handles the storage of your project. Storage servers will have storage servers. And at the same time, to maintain your network, you also need to have some networking devices, which is nothing but switches, routers, all these things. So keeping things in mind, so network devices are also going to be hosted. And on the top of this, we are going to consume, or we are going to deploy our applications like your Flipkart or Amazon or payment application, whatever it may be. On the top of it, we are going to run our applications. So this is what we are going to do. Okay, and on the top of it, we are going to run our applications. And whether the applications are running or not, whether the service is there or not, whether the server is coming up as a part of the maintenance, or whether it is operational or not, someone has to monitor. Typically in each and every company, they have a separate team called as NOC team, network operations. And some companies, they also call it as a command center team, or okay, it's called as a NOC team. Okay, certain companies call it in certain way, but their job is they are the observers. Okay, they are the one who try to monitor your machines or your applications, and then they are going to update you based on the activity that was designed. Okay, so now this data center, okay, this data center will be handled and maintained by a separate set of team called as HandsOn Support, or the data center ops team. Okay, it's a team. Okay, which they reside, which they are going to be inside your data center. So they are the one who takes care of your infrastructure. Okay, like your server, Okay, whether if the network cable is not working, replacing it. If the motherboard of your server goes for a toss, just replacing it. So this is the team which handles it. Okay, technically they are the hands and eye support. So which is nothing but your physical team who are going to stay in your data center. And in order to manage your servers, you need to have some team, just like your Linux team or Windows team. So you need to have one team which manages that. So to manage these servers in market, Linux. Okay, so if you take 80, if you take 100 systems, out of 100 systems, 98% of the enterprise systems or 98% of the enterprise market is on the top of Linux operating system. In order to pursue this training, you also need to know Linux. But even if you don't know Linux, let's not worry about it, because we are going to teach everything from the beginning. So initial 7 to 8 hours, we are going to spend more time on Linux, because you attend any interview, if you fail to answer any of the basic questions in Linux, how much ever you know cloud, how much ever you know DevOps, how much ever pro you are, they don't hire you. Okay, because it's without Linux, it's like just like working blindfoldedly. Okay, so to manage these servers, we also need to have a team called as Linux team, and to store it, for to maintain their storage, we also need to have someone called as storage team. Okay, all of them is, I'm referring in a conventional data center approach where your applications are running on cloud, on-prem. So you also have something called as network team, who handles the network, network. Now, to maintain these applications, so different companies have different set of applications, and based on their skill and expertise, they will have some team called as middleware team, who are responsible for the maintenance of the applications, connectivity, all these things. Okay, so this team is going to take care of the okay, this team is going to take care of the applications. And ops team is going to take care of the availability check, whether your server is up or not. If the server is not up, calling someone or sending a message to someone, hey, this application is wrong, this application is not working. So different teams are going to do different things. So all of them is how the business was working till 2010. But with the cloud evolution in mind, you don't have to maintain these many teams. So since you are a consumer of cloud, you don't need a data center, and hence you don't need a data center team. And since you are not going to manage your own network, since you are just a consumer of the network, you just need to have very less team, or you just need to have a team who know, okay, who know network operations. That's enough. Okay, so next thing, network. You don't need network, you just need to know someone who know network. And since the storage is again maintained on cloud, I don't need someone who can maintain my storage servers. I don't need someone who can upgrade my Linux servers. I don't even have to buy them, first of all, because I'm going to consume my storage on the top of cloud. Now again, I need to don't have to buy a lot of applications or middleware applications to maintain them and all of these things. I don't need anyone, because my applications are going to be hosted on the top of cloud, where majority of the services I'm going to consume, whether they're PaaS models or SaaS models. You can also eliminate certain extent of this team. And a NOC team, since you don't have a data center, you don't need 100% of the NOC team. Okay, we are going to design the solutions in such a way that what NOC team does can be done in an automated approach by a separate team called as Cloud DevOps team. And all of these things are done by a single team called as Cloud DevOps team. Earlier, Cloud team used to be a different team, and DevOps team used to be a different team. Now all of them are together. Okay. Now, if you just know cloud or if you just know DevOps, it cannot help. You need to know both, because earlier back in 2017, 18, if you just know what is AWS Cloud, if you just know what is server and what is platform as a service, you used to get a job. But right now, days are not like that. Okay. The expectations are high. So usually any of the cloud and DevOps guy is expected to know both. And we don't have a separate team called a cloud team. Separate team has a DevOps team. As per me, if you just learn cloud or if you just learn DevOps, there are very less chances that you would get a job. I'll prove this statement by opening the jobs in India and US. Okay, so that's the reason I highly say you need to learn both then for a successful job prospects. Okay, so any questions, anyone? I could see Padma's pre-question. If you haven't any question, you can talk, Padma.
Yeah, earlier you told after using, if we are not using that, we'll destroy that. Is there a way we can retrieve the data back again, like after 1 or 2 months? If you want the data to be pulled back,
Sure.
is there a way we can pull it out?
Yeah. So again, it comes in the form of strategy based on the type of organization, grade of organization you're working, and based on the business they do. If you're working for a bank, banks typically keep your data for 10 years. So based on the type of data, data is classified, whether it is a health data, whether it is a banking data, whether it is just application data. Based on the type of log, we make a decision whether to destroy, whether to take a backup or not. So as a part of your application deployment, even in our training, we're also going to have a backup and restore strategy. At that point of time, again, you'll understand this point into the core. But to answer that question, yes, it is possible, but based on the classification of data that you have deleted. Okay, that's where we are going to consume something called as pass models. Okay, so that's the answer. But in-depth implementation, we are going to see when we are talking about our project. Okay, Vineet, go ahead. I could see your question. All right, Vineet, if you're speaking, you can unmute and talk. All right, Sandeep, would you like to talk? I could see your hands raised.
Yeah, hi. Am I audible?
You are.
Okay. So you said this web-based applications, right? Means there will be a lot of applications like logical applications, file applications, database applications. So you will be teaching only web-based applications because we handle big data applications in our industry. So will you be, is it okay? Is it enough? We cover web-based applications?
Whatever you're talking about, database, big data, Hadoop, they don't fall under this category. The stream itself is a different. Whatever you're talking falls under the category of a separate engineering team called as a data engineering team. This course is not data engineering. This is into cloud and DevOps. Okay, that has separate set of tools called as big data hive. Okay, Hadoop. The ecosystem itself is a different, and the job itself is a different. Okay, that's an apple and it's an orange. So both of them are different. Okay. So yeah, so there are two set of applications, client-based application and web-based application, and the market, 95+% of the market is web-based application. So we need to learn something to implement this rather than just learning theoretical. So for that, we are going to learn something which is a very popular application, okay, which is nothing but web application. Because in interviews, you go and tell what you did in your company, right? So in order to say that, you should know really this training is mostly designed like a battle testing environment. So we'll try to learn the hard way. Okay, that's what I can say. So yeah, keeping the job aspects in mind, hands-on approaches in mind, we designed the course. Yes, to answer your question, whatever your data that you said, there's altogether a different job. Okay, it's like asking an Android developer to design an iPhone application. Same, those two are two different aspects. Okay.
Okay.
Hope I answered your question.
Yeah. All the sessions are recording, right? So will you
Yes.
be sharing after this?
Yes. Any questions, anyone?
Yeah, I have one question. So from you mentioned about applications would be managed by Cloud DevOps team. Can you elaborate more on this side? I think application team, like you were mentioning, the BI team or the data team is kind of part of application team. So how those would be under Cloud DevOps team?
Just hold that question. I'll answer it at the end of the training. Just hold that question. Okay. If that's not addressed, again, please raise it. I have it as a part of the curriculum. Just hold that question. Okay, I think I answered all of the questions. Somana, go ahead. I could see your hand raised.
Yeah, Manoj. The question I have is, see, when we talk about DevOps, so it's two different. I mean, if you talk about the middleware applications, so they would be doing only the operations side of.
Somana, allow me exactly 15 minutes. I'll answer that. I got your question. After 2 slides, there's a topic. Okay. So,
okay, fine. The only understanding I want is, will we cover the development and operations both, or as a part of this course, or?
Again, I'll answer that in an
sure.
extensive approach. I don't want to say yes or no. I want to give a detailed notes to you, analysis of that.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Sumana. I think I addressed all the questions. Perfect. Let's proceed, guys. Okay. So that's the reason eliminating these many teams is creating new set of jobs called as cloud and DevOps jobs. And in the cloud space, we are going to learn something called as AWS Cloud, which is an industry leader. And you take any jobs, 8 out of 10 jobs says Amazon Web Services. And that's the reason we are going to learn Amazon Web Services. And whatever the DevOps tools that are highly popular in the industry, 98% of them we are going to learn. Okay, when you say learn, not just what is what. Okay, so we are going to learn to the core of it. Okay, and that's the reason the training duration is 120 hours. Okay, so again, now this is the reason why a lot of companies are transitioning to cloud and why tremendous amount of jobs are evolving around AWS and cloud space. And this is the reason why industry needs a lot of these jobs. And at the same time, you can also see that people selling that people who are coming from 3 years, 4 years experience also telling, hey, I got 10 lakhs pay, 15 lakhs pay. So few of them will come back to me asking, is this true or not? Yes, it's true. I have a lot of people examples, and that's true. But you just need to be an expert on what you learn. That's the only thing that we need to go with. Okay, so again, going back to this. Okay, so in this cloud development space, okay, so another thing I would like to talk. Yes, so guys, I would like to talk where this DevOps comes from. What DevOps is, as per your understanding, what DevOps is. Anyone? There are a lot of people are telling DevOps this, DevOps that. What exactly is as per your understanding? Whosoever wants to talk, just talk, guys, so that we'll try to take insights out of it. Okay, we'll try to take things interactively. So please go ahead and talk.
Yeah,
DevOps is a culture or a
DevOps
DevOps is a
one by one.
DevOps, right? So
Sandeep, go ahead. Yeah.
DevOps is a culture actually, means it's not a tool. As per my perspective, it is a methodology, and where all part of the tools takes part inside it.
Okay.
And yeah, this is what DevOps is.
Perfect. You're almost right. Anyone else would like to add? Because I would like to fine tune all the answers. Yes, thank you very much for that. You said in a right way. Anyone else?
Yeah. DevOps is a methodology which basically bridges the gap between the developers and operations, and it also helps us define the software development lifecycle from end to end.
You're 100% right. Okay, just to add on that answer, I want to tell you. Okay, earlier you need to understand how development used to work. Okay, whatever the applications that we are talking, like your web applications or banking applications or client applications or whatsoever it may be. Okay, whatsoever it may be, if an application has to develop, they should have some development lifecycle, right? For example, if you want to construct a house, you need to have a plot, and you hire some civil engineer, and you will tell them that, hey, I have 1200 square feet land. I'm expecting 3 floors building. What is the plan? That guy will tell that, hey, if you go with this model, it costs you this much. If you go with this model, it costs you this much. If you go with this model, they cost you this much, right? For example, keeping that in mind, a bank wants to digitalize their own application. The pen and paper process, for example, whosoever wants to deposit a check, they will have to go to the bank and they need to fill the form. They need to do the check and they need to submit it, and then the cash will be withdrawn. Check will be withdrawn, right? Now everything can be done with a mobile phone. You just check the scan, you scan the check, you get the money. Okay, in order to have all this digitalization in place, bank hosts to go to the software development companies like Infosys, TCS, big players, and tell them that, hey, we are in the phase of digitalization, we need your help. Then they'll start gathering the requirement. So they'll start gathering the requirement. Let me show you that. They start gathering the requirement, and once the requirement is completed, they'll start designing the product. Again, gathering the requirement is a 2 to 3 months job. Okay, so they used to gather the requirement. So between the bank development team or the bank technical team or the bank product team with the technical team or the software development team or the architects, they also involve something called as a technical writers, where they are going to write all the requirements from the client, and they'll try to design how it looks like, and they'll show them, hey, if this is your requirement and this is the design that we are looking for, if you are interested or not. They'll say, yes, this product is looking good, I want to proceed. And the chief architect, so the chief engineers in the team, they'll hand over the product to the development team, where the software development or the software engineers are going to develop the product. And once they develop the code, once they write the code, someone have to build the product. Okay, so a lot of stages are involved in between them: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, as a part of the development. I don't want to use the technical terms, but a lot of middlemen are involved in between them. If a developer wants to see how the product looks like, lot of middlemen are involved in between them, and the person 1 don't know what person 2 is doing, and person 2 don't know what person 3 is using, and person 3 don't know what person 4 is doing. Now, for example, if the person T or the three goes for a tea break and he comes out after 3 months, after 3 hours, this guy has to wait for 3 hours. And this is making this guy wait for 3 more hours, and eventually keeping the developer not productive. That means development team don't know what operations are doing, and operation teams don't know what developer is doing. So if development goes this way, if no one knows what is being done by other person, it used to work like the blame game is something which used to happen. if you remember in any company, if you are working for any old projects, okay, in a support mode, typically we see things like, if something doesn't work, immediately we say, we don't even check. I think this looks like a database issue, go and check with the database team. Now the database team says, hey, my database is up, you go and talk to the application team. Now application team says that nothing, no issue from my end, please check with the middleware team. That means the ball goes between us. That means we are trying to blame each other, right? So to avoid this approach, to avoid this way, a new approach called as agile came into picture. In the agile team, we don't have the concept of team lead or a person who manages everything. Here, every person is an owner. And rather than developing the product that we have mentioned together in a shot, gathering all the requirement and delivering together in a shot, we take small feature and we'll develop. We'll take small feature, we develop, and we take small feature and develop. And that sequence of time that we take to develop the product, a certain feature or certain small functionality is called as sprint. Okay, so even if you go to any interview, they'll ask you what is the methodology that you're following, what is sprint, how you guys interact, how you guys collaborate. It's not just about technology to get a job. At the same time, the methodology, the process that we use in our company also matter. So even in this training, we are going to talk more about how we are developing the product, or how we are how we are partnered with DevOps, and how we partnered with the development team. Everything we are going to cover. Coming back to the point, in Agile, what DevOps team does exactly is he's going to bridge the gap between operations and the development team. Earlier, operations team don't know what a developer is doing, and developer don't have any idea what the operations team are doing, how they are deploying the product, and who is talking to whom, how many teams are involved. Just to release one feature, it used to take months and months of time, which Agile will have a target. So we'll take 14 days as time to deliver something, and we'll have calls and we'll deliver the product. And if it's not good, we'll have one call which is going to tell which is good, which is bad, and we are going to take in that way. Okay, so where DevOps comes from. So again, repeating the point. So DevOps, as our team, our guys have mentioned, these guys ensures that there is no gap between the development team and the operations team. So this also means I could see a lot of questions that DevOps guys do development. DevOps do development? Anyone? No, definitely no. DevOps is not a development team. Okay, your applications will be developed by, your applications will be developed by your application team, and your responsibility is to take the code from the application. You need to deploy it, and this is exactly the role of a DevOps engineer. You need to ensure you take the code from the developer and ship it across multiple environments without any issues or without any downtime. That's exactly you do. Okay, it technically doesn't mean copy the code and paste it. No, if that is the case, why they pay you that much? There are a lot of hiccups, a lot of obstacles that you come across. You are going to fix them using the open source technologies in mind. Okay, so the main role of you is to ensure you take the code from the developer and do all the process that your developer wants and make his life easy. So if you are reducing the operations time that your developer is investing, he can focus on the development and you can focus on his operations. Okay, making his life easy rather than he waiting to develop one feature for 1 month. You are going to increase his productivity by automating the manual task that he's doing. So as a DevOps guy, you need to understand what he's doing and you need to suggest him how to automate the things, how things can be done better. It doesn't mean that you are going to sit next to him and code. No. Okay, developer job is to develop the application. For example, he's a Python developer or ours is a Python application. He develops the code and give it to us. We are going to deploy it. Okay, take the code and deploy it. And at the same time, you also need to ensure there is no downtime involved in the applications. Okay, so you are going to deploy your applications on the top of the live production servers. But production server is nothing but any of the server which is customer facing, or any of the machine which is money making your project is called as production server. So each and every second of availability matters a lot. Okay, so that is the reason DevOps is a highly paid job. So if you want to understand how critical it is, whenever you are buying any product, for example, I want to buy Zoom or I want to buy GoToMeeting, I'll check, hey, you are charging me 10,000 rupees per month. What is the availability of your product? That means what can be the maximum downtime that you can commit if I give you 1 month commitment? He'll say, hey, my product is 99.99% up. So what it is? Your product, your company value is based on your availability that you provide. Let me open this. For example, if someone says, hey, my product is 99.99% up, that means they are giving you a commitment in a month. Your application won't be more than 4 minutes, 21 seconds of down. For example, if someone is telling you a software as a service, telling that my application is 5 nines up, that means in a month, the application that you're using cannot be or won't be more than 26 seconds of down. Okay, in order to achieve this much amount of availability, DevOps plays a very, very, very critical role. Okay, and that's the reason we have designed this whole training with all these aspects in mind. Okay, so we are going to calculate, we are going to design the things keeping this availability also in mind. Okay, so again, in the same space from last 2 to 3 years, you are also been hearing a new term called as site reliability engineering. What is the site reliability engineering and what it does? Okay, if your company is really huge and you don't want to handle all of this by a single team called as DevOps team, and you want to segregate the control, at the time site reliability engineering team comes up. What they exactly does is they mainly focus on doing the deployments on production environment. You as a DevOps guy, you ensure you do the deployments or design the things on the top of lower environment, and site reliability engineering team handles all the things on the top of the live production servers. And if anything wants to be deployed on production environment, site reliability engineers are going to give a signature after. Okay, they should be aware of it. Okay, so along with that, site reliability engineering also covers a lot of aspects called as observability. Okay, so Google is known for site reliability engineering. Sorry, Google. Okay, so keeping these 4 golden signals, Google is known for designing the world-class or creating the infrastructure at scale, because we have not seen or we are not aware of Gmail going down. We have not seen any time YouTube going down, right? If YouTube goes down for a certain time, they lose how many millions of revenue, how many $1 million of revenue they lose, guys, in the form of ads. So Google has a great experience of designing the world-class infrastructure. As per them, in order to have a nice engineering team to observe how your information technology is working or how your applications are working, they mentioned certain 4 golden rules you should capture as a part of your application, like latency, traffic, errors, and saturation. If you don't know about these words, that's fine. We are going to talk in detail about it. So we are going to design the application keeping these 4 principles in mind. And we are going to design nice dashboards, nice observability things we are going to do as a part of the training, guys. Okay, so yeah. So all I'm trying to say is we are going to include and implement the production grade principles and strategies in mind. Okay, so yes, as a part of the training, we are going to cover both DevOps, site reliability engineering, and cloud. Okay, so site reliability engineers are the one who focus more on production servers and on the observability team. Okay, now coming back to the topic, are we covering the market needs? Okay, so before going there, I would like to show you one architecture. So the list of tools that people are asking, what are tools that we are going to cover as a part of the training. Let me show you, I have a mind map. So I would like to present this mind map with you guys, how we are going to learn, what we are going to learn. So, and then we'll compare whether we are close to the market needs or not. Okay, so 98% of the enterprise infrastructure is on the top of Linux. When I say Linux, Linux is a command line operating system. So all entire 99% of the world's enterprise infrastructure is on the top of Linux. So without Linux, it's technically not possible to survive. So we are going to learn Linux. And then with the knowledge that we have gained out of Linux as a part of the training, we are going to implement 2 projects. Okay. We are a bit different here. Rather than we learning all the tools and understanding what business is later, as I said, we'll try to implement 2 to 3 projects. We'll try to understand how business works, what exactly the business is, and then we'll try to identify what are the problems that are associated with, and then we are going to address all of these problems with all these automation tools. Like, so we want to automate. Okay, so we are going to learn extensively bash scripting. You go to any interview, they expect you one scripting and coding, both of them are different. If you want to become an application developer, just learn some Java or Go. But our job is to become a cloud and DevOps guy. Just learn bash. Bash is going to make your life easy. Okay, a person who knows bash can do the same job in less than 1 hour. A person who don't know bash, he need to sit in front of the computer and need to do the same task for 8 hours every day. But bash is going to become handy. So we are going to learn extensively. You go to any interview, they'll ask you, do you know bash or do you know any scripting knowledge? So we are going to learn this extensively. And then in the enterprise space of Linux operating system, Red Hat is a vendor. Red Hat is very famous. So we are going to consume Red Hat Linux. And in the automation space, along with bash, there are certain tools called as Red Hat Ansible. Ansible is an open source tool, which is recently acquired by Red Hat. So technically it is Red Hat Ansible. We are going to cover Ansible in such a way that you can even apply for certification. Okay. And you take any job description, you see something called as Jenkins when you see that role as DevOps engineer. Jenkins is an automation framework. 99% of the companies, you take 100 companies, 95 to 99% of the companies uses Jenkins. And we're also going to cover something called as Nexus to store the software that we are going to make. And Git. Without GitHub, there is no development world. There is nothing. So everything is on the top of Git. So we are going to learn this extensively. And we are going to learn Terraform as well. So if you want to create infrastructure on cloud, you go to cloud, you do this, you create this, you do that, you destroy it, right? But technically, once you go into cloud and DevOps job, you don't do any of the things manually. You do everything in the form of code. What if I say the jobs that you see, I'll show you 10 jobs, 10 out of 9 jobs will ask you for Terraform. I'm repeating again, 9 out of 10 jobs, they'll ask you, do you know Terraform or not? People are crazily behind Terraform. And in reality, Terraform is created in the form of IAC using something called as Terraform. Terraform is very famous. Okay. And in our 120 hours of training, 40 hours we are going to spend only on Terraform. That much big and production grade training, we are going to take it up in our training. Okay. So once you complete the training and once you practice the training, you will be a pro in Terraform if you are able to practice. Okay. And second thing is to monitor the application that we have deployed. We are going to use something called as Prometheus and Grafana. They are the world-class monitoring and display utilities that are available. Okay. Using this Grafana, we are going to create nice dashboards. So for example, if you want to see India Stock Exchange graphs, what are the graphs that you see in the stock market? All of these things are the graphs that are designed by your Grafana. Okay, so all these graphs that you see here, Nifty is going up, Nifty is going down, all the graphs that you see based on your business. Okay, we are going to design these kind of graphs for our application, how it is performing, what is the latency, which application is not responding. All these things we are going to create nice graphs using something called as Grafana. And we are going to deploy or create our applications on the top of servers. And at the same time, right now the market is completely around Kubernetes. So we are going to learn extensively on Kubernetes, and we also use something called as Helm as a part of the training. These are the 15 DevOps tools that we are going to cover as a part of the training. Now, are we covering the market needs or not? So let's go ahead and check that. Roadmap is a very famous website, okay, which tells you if you want to become any particular role, what all you need to learn. So for example, in our case, we want to become a DevOps guy. What all you need to learn in 2023, if you want to become a DevOps engineer or a site reliability engineer or a cloud engineer, what all you need to know. What they're telling you is learning one programming language is a nice thing, but it's above. the exception. And as a part of the Linux, you need to understand input management, virtualization, memory, how these works. Yes, we are going to cover as a part of our Linux. And they're telling you need to know one operating system. And among all, Red Hat Linux is very popular. So here purple indicates they are suggesting you to learn. Okay, so green indicates okay, okay. So purple, Red Hat Linux is highly famous. We are going to learn this and we are going to spend almost 8 to 9 hours on it. And in the operating system automation, they're also telling you to learn something called as bash concepts, bash scripting. We are going to implement almost 10 hours. We are going to spend on bash scripting, and all of these concepts that you see, we are going to learn. And they are also telling you to learn some networking protocols like HTTP, HTTPS, FTP. We are going to learn all of these as well. So even if you don't know what is network, we are going to start from absolute scratch in this training. Okay, and they are also telling what is and how to set up a reverse proxy, forward proxy, firewall, caching, load balancer. Apart from caching, we are going to cover everything. Okay, whatever they are mentioned, we are going to cover that. And in the container space, they are telling you to learn Docker. Yes, we are going to cover Docker. And they're also telling you to, as a part of the infrastructure as a code, they are telling you to learn something called as, where is infrastructure as a code? They are telling you to learn Terraform, which is preferred. Yes, we are going to learn. And secret management, they are telling you use something called as Vault. Yes, we have covered it as a part of the training. And in the configuration management space, they are telling you to learn Ansible. Yes, we have covered it. You have seen it. And Kubernetes, it's one of the most happening thing. Yes, we are going to learn. And as mentioned, to monitor your infrastructure, you need to have Prometheus and Grafana. Yes, we are going to use both of them. And in the logs management, they're telling you to use Elastic or Loki. We are going to go with Elastic. And they're also telling you if you want to go or consume cloud, you should know either AWS or Google Cloud. Since AWS is a Google Cloud, we are going to learn AWS Cloud. And in the design patterns, okay, we are going to talk about how availability works, how we are going to manage data, and how if your applications goes down, how are you going to manage it? All of these things we are going to cover in this training. As a part of this training, we are going to cover two things, two projects, and both of the projects we are going to start from week 2 itself. Okay, that's the thing that I have in my agenda. Okay, are we covering the market needs? Yes. And I also have 3 to 4 questions. Who can pursue the course? My course will be joined by a lot of people from different backgrounds. So who can pursue the course? And how is the market for this cloud and DevOps right now? And what are the services that we offer as a part of this course once you sign up? And what is the level of experience that we can portray? Hey, Manu, I have spent almost 3 months of training with you. What is the experience that I can portray, or how much experience that I can show when I'm attending any interview with respect to technology and expertise? Okay, I'm going to experience. Once you complete the training, you're almost equivalent to 4 to 7 years of experience guy in cloud and DevOps technologies. Anyone says that you complete the training, you'll become an architect. I don't believe in that. You'll become a very good above mid-level engineer if you complete my training. You can easily show 4 to 7 years of experience if you complete my training. And who can pursue the course? Okay, so anyone who is coming from the mainframe, operations, database, or anyone from any administrative background, yes, you are open. And we have designed the course keeping these aspects in mind. So far, I as an individual trainer, or I as a trainer, has delivered 1,080 students. I think it has crossed 1250 students, and this is my 54th batch. Now you can understand the content that we have invested, the time we have invested to ensure all the topics are covered. And anyone who has started their career in IT, or who is in the legacy background, or who wants to move, he is open to move. And any fresher who is in the phase of joining any software company, or anyone who has recently joined, yes, you are welcome. We are going to start things from the absolute scratch. And anyone who is working in legacy technology like mainframe, kicks, anyone. Okay, and we also have a lot of students who are coming from non-technical background, managerial background. They successfully completed the training and they have made a great progress in their cloud and DevOps journey. And there are few of the people who are coming from non-technical background, like banking background, accounts background, and non-technical background. Basically, we have a lot of people in last 3 years from COVID to now. I have seen in my training, a lot of people even from different backgrounds like banks and teaching field also made a move to their DevOps and cloud platform. Okay, so all I expect from you is you just come with a fresh and learning mindset. We are going to take everything from absolute beginning, and this 100% goes in an interactive approach. Okay, so next thing. And how, okay, so Manu, you mentioned that everything is project oriented. you need a lot of practice. And how are we going to address the lab related questions? How are you going to address the lab related questions? So as a part of this training, how we are going to address the lab related questions. So once you like the content, once the training onboarding starts, you'll be enrolled to our portal, where you'll be onboarded to a channel where you can reach for any sort of technical questions, concerns, where I'm going to address all of your questions over the channel. In case whatever I mentioned, if you're not able to work, however, you are going to work on the lab machines that we are going to provision. So we can connect to the machines and we can fix that. Or if you prefer a Zoom session, yes, you're open to join a Zoom as per the agreed timeline. We can connect and fix the issues. And a lot of people have used this opportunity, as I mentioned. If I'm running this as a 54th batch, you can see the number of people that I have trained. And a lot of people use this opportunity to take insights even from their work-life blockers. So a lot of people, this is my 54th batch. I have people from 33, 34th batch still who are in touch with me for their day-to-day issues, or if they're having any blockers and all. So I strongly believe in referral. I strongly believe in maintaining good rapport is a success, or is a success of life, or success of any training or any perfect career. So I believe in maintaining the good rapport with the team at any point of time, even if it is something related to your professional life. If you have any sort of blockers, we are happy to help you. So you have 100% assistance on that. Okay, so we are going to address all of your lab queries during the session, so you don't have to worry much about it. Okay. All right. And second thing, what do we get as a part of this training? Training is completely on the top of 2 real-time projects. So both the projects are going to be shared with you. No questions asked. And second thing, so I have people who are coming from US, India, Australia, Europe, different geographical conditions, different geographies and different time zones. So since the training is 125 hours, so it takes 12 to 13 weeks, which means it is a 3 months training program. So there are high chances you miss certain sort of sessions, or you go out of vacation, you might not feel well. Keeping all these things in mind, we are going to record each and every session and we are going to publish it with you, and you'll have lifetime access. Okay, unless until YouTube is not shut down, you have access to it. Okay, and each and every topic that we are going to discuss will be given a detailed note. For example, let me show you this. So for example, this is my current batch, which is nothing but the batch 53, which is ongoing batch. So for example, if you talk about Linux, I am going to write notes on your behalf and we are going to publish it to you. Okay, so for example, you take this. So what is Linux? What are the commands that you need to use? What is the syntax to use? And how to give the output, and how to take the output, and what is this command, and how to check that. Everything will be shared in a very detailed note. Okay, so I would like to show another repository as well. So for example, take any other repository like Kubernetes or anything. Okay. Let's take any example. I would like to show you how we are going to deliver all the required things. Let's take Kubernetes as an example. So you don't have to write technically anything. So we are going to draft everything on your behalf. Okay, if you want to write, or if you want to make your own notes, you are welcome to do that. But whatever the content that we are going to deliver, or whatever the topics that we wish you to refer, all the reference links and all the notes will be given to you. So you don't have to worry about it. Or during the class, I don't expect you as well to write your own notes. I am there to help you on that. Okay, if you want to make your notes, yes, right after the session, in less than 2 hours, you get the session recording. You can watch them and you can make your own notes. But in the unlikely event, if you want me to make your own notes, yes, I'm ready to make that. I'm going to supply it as a part of the training. Okay, and along with the training, I'm also going to share you a lot of tips in the GitHub when you're going for any interview. Okay, for example, me as a lead engineer, if I want to interview someone, I want to see what this guy is doing, right? Based on the context you set, I'm going to ask you, right? So in your resume, if you mention a GitHub profile, this is my GitHub profile. For example, if you see this, okay, so AWS practical questions, and recently one of the student in this training, okay, he's a college student, 1.5 year experience guy. He got some nice pay, some 12 or 13. I don't remember the fact. He got some nice pay. We asked him how he did that. He just posted in LinkedIn that how he has achieved that high paying job by using LinkedIn even in the critical time. Okay, so he has used LinkedIn, and what is the strategy used? We just had a nice conversation and he posted it and we applied here. And if you want to apply jobs through LinkedIn, you don't even have to believe, or you don't have to dependent on third-party portal or waiting for call, someone calling you, giving a job. You can poke someone and you can tell them that, hey, I'm this guy, I know this, I know that. You can really talk to the people using the powerful platform called as LinkedIn. And how to use this I have mentioned in a detailed note. And when you're going for any interview, people ask you a lot of things, like how you are organizing the things, what sort of issues you came up, how you designed this, as a part of this design, what all blockers you got. A lot of things would be coming up, right? So keeping those things in mind, we also drafted certain things. So for example, if you want to talk about SRE tips and techniques, you can also go with this. So basics, Linux, and file system related issues. So when you're going to any interview, for example, if you want to talk more about Linux, all these things are discussed here. And for example, if you want to talk about networking, all of these things are discussed here. For example, you want to talk more about Kubernetes and you want to talk the best production grade practices, just click this link. And we are going to publish everything with you. You don't have to worry about it. So if you try to go through these articles once the training is completed, whatsoever the interview asks you, you have an answer. At least if you don't have an answer, you have something to answer, telling that you know something. That is enough for an interview to select you. So all of these best practices we are going to teach as a part of the training as well. So all you need to worry is you should worry whether I can invest 1 to 2 hours per day or not. Rest of the things I'll take care. Okay, so these are the things that we have curated for you guys. Okay, so it's all yours now. Okay, so we are going to publish all these things with you, so you don't have to make any note. In case if you make, you are highly welcome. But as a part of the training, we are also going to publish all these things and you will have lifetime access to it. Okay, when you're attending your interview, we'll also conduct one session how to present yourself in interview post the completion of the training. At that time, we'll also show you how you can use LinkedIn your profile to market your profile. Okay, so this also I would like to show how we can stand out of the crowd. Okay, so these are the things that I would like to talk, and I'm 100% good with the content that I would like to cover. And I really appreciate if you have any questions, you're open to ask. And I repeat again one more time, so the meeting times remains the same. So before I close the session, before I take up the questions, I would like to mention that batch timings are Monday to Saturday morning 6 to 7:30. Just very important points. So meeting link remains the same, guys. Okay, whatever the meeting link that you have used, it will be same for the next 7 days. For the next 6 days, the meeting link remains the same. Every day, please use the meeting link that you have used to join the session. And I request you to enter your names. And second thing, after 2 hours, you get the session recording. Okay, so if I am the person who has reached you, or if I'm the person who has published you the meeting link, and I'll be your point of contact. For example, if you want to know who is your point of contact, you just open the meeting link that you have used. At the bottom, you have point of contact here, Bobby Brown, and his number is this. In case 99.99% you get the session recording. In the unlikely event, if you don't get it, just please check the point of contact at which has the contact number. Just please reach out to him in case if you don't get it. In less than 2 hours, every day you get the meeting. Okay, as I said, every session will be recording, you'll get it. And meeting timings from tomorrow, meeting timing will be 6 to 7:30 a.m. IST or 8:30 to 10 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so these are the timings. Okay, so the session timings are Monday to Saturday morning 6 to 7:30 if you are joining from India, or if you are joining from states, the batch timings are 8 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 to 10 p.m. Eastern. Okay, and I repeat, meeting link remains the same. And after 2 hours, you get the session recording. In the unlikely event, if you don't get it, please use this. And the meeting link that you have used will remain the same. Okay, and whatever the content that you have discussed, please don't make any notes. We are going to publish everything with you. And from day one to itself, we are going to work on AWS Cloud. Okay, and I could see a lot of questions. Do I need to have some nice, powerful computer to do that? No. All you need to have is to have a nice, good internet connection with a working laptop. I don't expect it to have 16 GB RAM and i7 processor. No, a computer where you are comfortable to work. That's all. I don't expect anything else. Okay. Even if it is a corporate laptop, yes, it works. Okay. Ensure you don't connect to your VPN. Okay. So that's it. So the meeting link remains the same. And tomorrow the session starts by morning 6 to 7:30 a.m. Okay. If you are in India, if you are in States, 6 to 7:30, 8:30 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. So these are the session timings, guys, and meeting link remains the same. Okay, I repeat again. So meeting timings, here are the timings. If you're joining from India, session timings are 6 to 7:30, or if you're joining from States, 8:30 to 10 p.m. Eastern. Okay, and meeting link remains the same as I mentioned, and that's for today. And we are good to take up the questions. And yeah, it's all yours. So whosoever wants to talk, they can unmute or they can raise their hand and talk, guys. I could see, yeah. Chinmay, just please go ahead and ask your question. I could see your hand raised.
Yeah, hi, Manoj. My question is that regarding this AWS course content, so are you going to cover all the things on AWS, like it will be on a solution architect level, or it will be like the basic components like you can say EC2, BPC, and S3, all these like whatever primary important components we use for with respect to the project you are going to give.
Okay.
So
Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon has 250 plus services. And technically, it's not possible to learn 250 services. And we are going to learn something in such a way that which is helpful to understand rest of the world. Okay, to understand rest of the services. So for example, AWS also has a service called as a rocket launching service. We don't need that. The team who is using rocket science will use it. As a cloud and DevOps guy, what all are needed is barely 20 to 25 services. We are going to cover all of them. And we are going to not just we are going to learn, oh, BPC means create a network, EC2 means create a server. No, we are going to go with a production grade approach, keeping high availability, disaster recovery, keeping the load balancing, all these aspects in mind. Starting from network, we are going to design. Okay, so if, for example, if you are being deployed in a project where you have nothing, where you need to start interacting with your client and generate what you need to do from there, we are going to start. Okay, we are going to start absolutely from zero. So to answer that, yes, we are going to cover from basic to very advanced. Hope I answers your question.
Yeah, correct. And one last question: how important is it like to have the certification of solution architect while searching the jobs in the market?
I would say, do not join a company who says I'll hire you if you have a certification. Okay, so certification is not just something which gives you a job. Okay, do a certification if your company is sponsoring. Okay, don't pay from your pocket is what my suggestion. Okay, so doing a certification adds may or may not value secondary, but I don't want you to spend money from your pocket. You join a company, if they're giving you a coupon, do. If not, don't spend from your pocket is what my suggestion. Okay.
Okay, got it.
But yes, you can do that. That's not a big deal. And doing a certification is not a big deal at all, as per me. Okay. Just connect with me offline. I'll tell you certain tips. You can easily clear them.
Yeah, sure.
Perfect, Chinmay. And Vineet, I could see your hand raised. Please post your question. Please ask. Salman.
Yeah, Manoj. See here we are learning AWS here. So there are other cloud provider also in the market. So after this course, we will be able to work on that cloud also once we are done.
I mean, all cloud providers work the same way as per me. Okay, if you learn one cloud, for example, for learning AWS, if it takes 2 months, 3 months of time, for learning other cloud like Azure or AWS will take you barely 1 or 2 weeks. That's it. Okay, because learning your first bicycle is the toughest job, right? Once you learn the bicycle, learning scooty or moped is a big deal to you. You already gained the experience, right? So yeah, it's not a big deal. I never learned Azure. Okay, so I was working on Amazon Cloud and Google Cloud from last 10 years, not 10 years, 8 years. Now I got a project where they have Azure end to end. I learned it. I just in 1 week I understood most of it. Why? Because it almost operates the same way. The only thing changes is names. So all I expect is you learn something, you be a master in that. Okay, that's the only thing we expect. Okay, hope I answers your question.
Yeah.
Perfect. So Vinay, I could see your question hand raised. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Manoj.
Hey.
So my question is like, so did you provide any lab access also?
Yeah. So
Okay.
AWS offers you free account. Okay. I don't have to give you. I have some lab images, which I'm going to give you. But Amazon offers you a free account for 1 year. We are going to harvest most out of the free tier. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, without spending most, like if you're ready to pay 100, 200 per month, that's fine. You get most of it from Amazon. Okay.
Okay.
So yes, we are going
also.
to learn everything in production grade on live AWS accounts, not on sandbox.
Okay. So another question I have. So after completing this course, how confident we are taking the jobs like a AWS developer or AWS solution architect?
First of all, solution architect is not a job. Okay. Solution architect is a AWS certification name.
Okay.
Okay. And a lot of people will think that if I do AWS solution architect exam, I'll become a solution architect. That is not true. In a company, there will be one architect. Okay. So how confident you are depends on how confidently you learned the training and practiced it. Okay. So I teach you to fish. So how best you learned depends on how it all depends how you market yourself. Okay. There are a team of 10 people. You ask them to 10 pens, only 2 or 3 or 5, 6 sell. The rest of the 2 to 3 might not sell. They might sell the next day. So you be prepared. You'll be a top-notch resource to be hired. You be prepared.
Sure.
Be confident. You need to answer to yourself once you complete the training. If you ask the question, hey, I completed the training, I practiced it, am I confident or not? If the answer is yes to you, yes, you are confident enough to clear the job. Okay.
Perfect.
So that confidence only comes up with practice. Okay. The only difference between a confident person and a non-confident or a person who is on tendency is the person who is confident is the person who is prepared. The person who is in tension is a person who has not prepared. I always believe in person who is somewhat prepared than a person who is a smart guy. Smart guy ideas might or might not work certain times, but a person who is prepared, majority of the times things will work. So people expect you to be prepared. Okay. But I best my training gives you that confidence if you invest your time. If you harvest the training, yes, you can.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Manoj.
Perfect. Vinit Singh. Guys, once you're done, please lower your hand. You can drop your hand. Mukesh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, hi Manu. Thanks for that information. I just want to know, like, will you be the tutor for all the sessions?
Yes.
Or will
Yes,
somebody
I'm
else?
the single person. I'm the person from tomorrow. The trainings are going to start till the completion of the training, and I'll be the person. And even after the completion of the training, for any related sort of questions, I'll help you. Okay. You don't worry on that.
Okay.
You'll have access to the channel. You can always reach me, and I am the person who is the guy who helps you with all the content.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. I could see a Dell. I don't know your name. You mentioned as Dell. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hi. This is Sai.
Hey, Sai.
Yeah. Here we are learning the Kubernetes as well as Ansible also. After learning that, could I able to manage the Kubernetes production environment like as a Kubernetes?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Okay. Yeah. Another question. We are going to define the pipelines in the right.
Yes.
And all. So
Yes.
for that pipeline, we are using any
Jenkins.
DSL
Yes.
scripts and all. Okay.
Not DSL. We'll also use shared libraries as well.
Okay. So
DSL days are gone.
Yeah. Are you going to teach any live project kind of things?
Yes. 2 projects we are going to cover.
Okay.
And 1 project is monolithic project. Since you're asking this question, you have some understanding on it.
Yes,
That's the reason I'm asking.
Understand. Right.
So 1 project is monolithic, which is old project. And guys, if you don't understand what are these terms, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to teach. Another project is microservices, a project with 13 servers.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Because we believe in learning the hard way. If you learn the hard way, you can survive any of the factors. Okay. So both monolithic and microservices, and we are going to cover.
So using Kubernetes cluster,
yes,
you can deploy
yes.
using Ansible.
Both we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For practicing Kubernetes also, are we using AWS service or any
it's on AWS.
On AWS. Okay.
But it technically doesn't matter. If it is a Kubernetes, what cloud it is doesn't matter. A server is a server. A Linux is a Linux. A Kubernetes is a Kubernetes. Irrespective of the cloud.
Okay. Fine. Yeah, another thing. Yeah, final question. What is the cost would be?
Just reach out to the person who has reached you. He has all the details.
Okay.
Talk to him offline.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Manju, I could see your hand raised. Manju, Ram, Ajish. Go ahead, Manju.
Yeah. So regarding the enterprise, you were using that word enterprise. So what does it mean? And another question was, which teams comes under the operations?
Okay, to answer that enterprise grade approach, an enterprise is nothing but a company which operates at scale. Okay, which operates at scale are the companies that are referred as enterprise. What I meant by we try to grade the enterprise grade principles in mind, which is nothing but we don't just create a server and say this is server and we'll destroy it. No, how we design the things at enterprise, keeping the scalability, stability, availability in mind, how we design the things are the things we are going to seed into our training. Okay, my training is designed in such a way that you don't feel that you're learning something, you feel like you're working. That's the main target that I have.
Okay.
And what all teams comes under DevOps? So it depends. Okay. So DevOps is one of the most misused word in the last 5 years. I also heard some people telling DevOps support, DevOps admin, DevOps pipeline engineer, DevOps database engineer. Those are all the wrong words. A DevOps engineer is expected to know end to end of the flow. Okay. But I have seen certain companies which are very huge. If you're a